We're going to take a look right now at the levels here as we hear that closing bell on this Thursday, September 10th, 2009.
And let's take a look at the action today as the market settles in. Those averages pretty much closing here at their best levels of the session over the last 20 minutes or so. We did see another leg up on the equity trade. That means about a 1% gain for the S&P 500. We are up 5 days in a row. Haven't seen that trend since last November. Checking in on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, a gain of 78 points at 96.25. That is up 0.8%. And as for the Nasdaq on this Thursday, similar trend here. That average, though, up almost 1.2%, Matt, at 2,084.
All right, before we go down the New York Stock Exchange, let's recap some of the big headlines here, because some very big headlines crossing the ticker. First of all, we're hearing that John Mack, according to the Wall Street Journal, is going to step down as CEO of Morgan Stanley. James Gorman is going to replace him. It's an interesting day to hear this. James Gorman, a co-president over at Morgan Stanley, who said that he thinks, for example, that the bank was appropriately tested in the stress test, and we're hearing Tim Geithner today talking about the stress test, defending those as well on Capitol Hill.
Exactly. You mentioned a lot of headlines crossing here at the close. You've got Harvard University talking about its investments, and that is falling 27.3% in the year ended June 30th. We know a lot of endowments at major universities have fallen tremendously over the last year. Harvard, though, coming out with the latest read on that again at the end of June 30th, and their investments down another 27% there, so taking another big hit, it seems.
All right, let's go down right now to the New York Stock Exchange and see how all of this news is flowing through the trade there. Suzanne O'Halloran standing by on the floor with a round of what's going on today. Suzanne?
Well, thanks, Matt. You know, a lot of positive news on the economic front and profit news as well. And not only do we have the S&P see its longest 5-day winning streak since November, but we also saw the VIX drop to the lowest level since the beginning of this year. So volatility coming down a bit. So that's very interesting, too, suggesting that this rally in stocks may be, in fact, sustainable. I want to focus on the profit news. Procter & Gamble, the best performer in the Dow, they came out and they affirmed their sales targets for the year, but they also said profits may be a little bit higher than what they were expecting. Again, P&G, a big winner in the consumer staple sector today. Also, Hartford Financial, their CEO talking to investors today, saying their investment losses, those losses tied to mortgage debt and the subprime area, are getting smaller by about $3 billion. So Hartford Financial rose today, and that gave a lift to some of the other insurance companies today. That's definitely an interesting story as well, Matt. And, of course, the energy theme, energy stocks very strong today, of course, on that oil demand forecast.